Dragons of Legend time. Time to go through pretty much the remaining cards that we haven't known since Cougar Lurch on eBay decided to go ahead and open up the German product for you guys. So, Legend of Heart is the first one we're going to talk about. Pay 2,000 life points and tribute 1 warrior type monster. Banish up to 3 legendary dragon spell cards with different names from your hand or graveyard. And if you do, special summon a number of legendary knight monsters with different names from your hand, deck, or graveyard equal to the number of spell cards you banished. And of course you can only activate 1 Legend of Heart per turn. Really good card. Now do keep in mind that only Timaeus is confirmed right now. It looks like Helmos and Kridios are going to be much later on down the line. So bear with us as things do take time to get released. But the card is really good. The next one, Relay Soul. This card isn't as good as the anime effect, but it's still good. So summon 1 monster from your hand. As long as you control that face-up monster, you take battle damage, and if that monster leaves the field, your opponent wins the duel. Now, a lot of players are automatically going to go, well, this card is terrible because, you know, it sets a new precedence. Depending on which monster you can special summon onto the board and protect, it's still kind of cool. But I definitely see people trying to use this card as a troll card to summon Egyptian gods and things like that, and try to bypass certain things. Like I said, the card is really powerful because it's chainable. You can activate it when you're just about to lose and summon out some kind of large monster, and then just put, you know, major BS on your opponent with like Safe Zone, Key Beetle, and things like that. It's basically a new card that lets you protect the castle. It's really interesting. Next up, the Celestial Sword EATOS. The first line of this card really made me go, what? This card is always treated as a Noble Arms card. I'm kind of curious to know what they were thinking when they made this. The equipped monster gains 500 attack, and when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Guardian EATOS monster you control, and it gains 500 attack for each monster banished. I assume that they gave it the Noble Arms clause, just because the Holy Sword kind of is, you know, mythological, but it's still really interesting to see that they did slap that Noble Arms on there, and I'm also going to be curious to know what some of the rulings are going to be with that. Next up, the Reaper Scythe. Vexicus 4666, eat your heart out. Equipped only to a Guardian Dreadset, gains 500 attack for each monster in either graveyard. So the later the game goes with this, this card's going to be really ridiculous. I could see some major OTK potential here. Next up is Battle Fusion. When a face-up fusion monster you control attacks or is attacked, it gains the attack equal to the attack of the opposing monster until the end of the damage step. Nothing to see here, folks. Fusion monsters really don't exist anymore, so do keep that in mind. Next up is PAAR CYCROID. It's 2 machine type monsters with the same name. So you're telling me I can polymerization together 2 red gadgets? Okay. It's 2 machine type monsters with the same name. It's level 5, and this card can attack your opponent directly. Pretty interesting. I want to abuse this card in gadgets now, just for kicks, just because I can. Next up is the Ayers Rock Sunrise. Target 1 beast type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, and if you do, all monsters you currently control lose, it's all monsters your opponent currently controls lose 200 attack for each beast, plant, and winged beast type monsters in your graveyard, and of course you can only get 1 of these effects once per turn. So do keep in mind that just a generic revival spell card for beast type monsters that lowers down your opponent's attacks. Pretty good for another monster reborn. Next up is Double Passe, or however you want to pronounce that. When your opponent attacks a face-up attack position monster you control, make that attack a direct attack instead and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the attack target you control. In addition, the monster you control can attack your opponent directly. So you take some battle damage, your opponent takes some battle damage, and on the next turn they're taking a direct attack. Not a bad card. I do like the fact that it's a trap, but we'll have to wait and see how this card kind of unfolds for future play. I doubt it's going to see any play whatsoever, but it's still really interesting. Next up, CARBONEDDON. If you control, if this card battles a fire monster, during damage calculation this card gains 1000 attack, so it becomes an 1800 beater. During damage calculation only, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 level 7 or lower dragon type monster from your hand, normal dragon type monster, in face up defense position, and you can only use the effect of CARBONEDDON once per turn. So, congratulations, guys. We now have a way to special summon Red Eyes Black Dragon from our deck. Kind of funny, but it's still pretty interesting. Next up, the interesting Blackwing. Orochi, the Squall. Basically, you can special summon it from your hand and have it act as a level 1 tuner that you can synchro up with. It's pretty good. I'm very glad that they finally have a Blackwing that they can special summon and act as a level 1 tuner. It's definitely something that we've needed for quite some time. Next one is the Blackwing Hurricane, the Tornado. Once again, all that we know is if you... Once per turn you can target one single monster on the field. This card's attack becomes the same attack as the current attack until the end of the turn. So he gets to become a relatively big floater. He is a level 1 tuner as well, so you can enjoy copying your Blackwings. Next up, Blackwing Revenge. If a winged beast type monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 2 Blackwing Black Crest tokens. 0 attack, 800 defense. Little Blackwing babies. The card's terrible. I'll never play it. Next up, Assault Dog. This card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard and special summon any number of Assault Dogs from your deck. Also not good. It's 1200 level 4. It's not even a tuner. Next up is Gate Blocker. Someone's going to find a way to abuse this card. It's 100 attack, 2000 defense. Negate the effects of your opponent's field spells. Your opponent cannot place counters on the field, and your opponent cannot target monsters you control by card effects. Really interesting design card. I think that someone's going to find a way to abuse this. I'm not quite sure where, but this card has some really big potential. Next up, Lion-Hearted Locomotive, a 2400 level 4 monster that I can normal summon under skill drain and attack for 2400. If this card attacks, its attack is halved, but the skill drain factor is real with that card. Next up is Express Train Trolley-OLLEY. Oh, I hope that's not actually what it's supposed to be. Trolley-OLLEY. An XYZ monster was summoned using this card as XYZ material, gains the following effect. It gains 800 attack, but it's an 1800 level 4 locomotive. I mean, not really much else you can ask for there. Next up is Train Signal Red. When your opponent monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up attack position, and this card becomes that attack target. Not bad. There's something else, I believe, that also said the card cannot be destroyed by a battle, which is pretty good. Next up is Train Connection. Equip only to an Earth Machine-type monster by banishing 2 level 10 or higher Machine-type monsters in your graveyard, and cannot be equipped by other ways. Its attack becomes double its original attack, and if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage, and then other monsters you control cannot attack. So, pretty interesting equip card. I don't really see any other functioning method to make this card good. More or less for the lulz. Next up, it looks like number 73, Abyss Splash. 2 level 5 water monsters. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Double this card's attack until your opponent's end phase. Any battle damage your opponent takes, though, is halved for the rest of the turn. Not bad. Just kind of good to see that we're finally getting some of the duelist pack cards. And then the last one is Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos. Now, I was kind of disappointed with this card, and you'll see why here. Target 1 number monster you control, except for a number C monster. Special summon from your extra deck 1 number C monster with the same number in its name, but as 1 number higher, or 1 rank higher than the monster currently you're using, and transfer its XYZ materials to that card. So, the downside of this, unfortunately, is the fact that, unfortunately, it has to be the exact same named card. And I know personally I'm kind of disappointed about that. There are 2 more cards here. Of course, we know about number C Giant Hand. Of course, no Giant Hand reprint in here, much like we'd anticipated. If this card has a number monster attached to its XYZ material, it gains this effect. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated, on the field, you can detach one material from this card, and if you do, negate the effects of all other face-up cards on the field until the end of the turn. Yay! Giant Hand Red is so good. The last one that we also finally got the effect for, just recently, was Lillybot. When this card is normal summoned or flipped face-up, you can target one Orbital 7 in your graveyard, and special on that target in face-up defense position. Once per turn, you contribute one machine-type monster you control, special summon one Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck. From your hand. It's really interesting. I really like the card in general. The fact that they kind of gave a little bit more support to Orbital 7, not just, how leave him be terrible, but I definitely think that he has potential in Galaxies. Maybe not so much the best potential, but still good. So, this is Dragons of Legend in a nutshell. Guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support. And please check out Vanguard 40 for Cardfight Vanguard, KAMPF-FUSION Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.